The DeBarted is so well written. It actually was a little bit slow to begin with, but once it got going, I really enjoyed this. This is the 13th episode of the 19th season of The Simpsons, and this is directed by Mike B. Anderson, Matthew Nastuk, and Mark Kirkland. And I'll get in with the main narrative in a moment, but we have a subplot involving Homer having a loaner car because something happens to his car, and we don't see much of it. They don't really lean into that part of the narrative too heavily, which I think is okay because it wasn't, there wasn't much else they could do with it without really making it a main narrative. But we do get to see inside the car, and I'm really glad that the Simpsons haven't upgraded their vehicle. I'm not saying they haven't ever because I'm only on season 19, but certainly up until this point, I'm glad that they haven't because, yeah, it is very futuristic and it's not bright cut like, they've got the bright coloured cars and they're fun and they're a little rough around the edges and kind of rustic, and I rather like that. So I'm hoping that they never upgrade the car. But for this episode, it was nice enough. But the main narrative, I loved. Yes, it was slow to begin with, and Donnie as a character I didn't really like, but I don't know if I was meant to like him. But I didn't mind him. Donnie is a new boy in Bart's class, and he seems to be getting a lot of the attention that Bart would usually get. But well, I don't want to say too much more actually, but I will say that something is meaning that Skinner is aware of Bart's pranks before Bart delivers the pranks and is always a couple of steps ahead of Bart, and that plays out so fantastically. But then it it kind of gets out of control where it's unclear whose loyalties are with whom and who's lying and who's telling the truth, and it's a real tangled web, but in a way that's really satisfying, not in a way that's confusing or, clunky or difficult to follow. I think it was very, very well written and really enjoyable, and I had a lot of fun with it. So once it got going, it was actually really good, and I really liked it. So definitely The Departed was a little slow to begin with, but absolutely worth waiting for. Really thoroughly enjoyed it. Had a lot of really great moments and really well written, and I feel like when I watch it again, it won't be as interesting because, assuming I remember things about it, I'll know things ahead of, the other characters, and the surprise element will no longer be there. And I definitely think the element of surprise is one of the reasons why I enjoyed it so much. But even, with that being said, I think I'd still enjoy it. It is definitely a good episode.